Good morning, students. Today I am going to start chapter number 2, New Kings and Kingdoms from History. And today I will discuss with you two topics. Number 1 is introduction and number 2 is the emergence of new dynasty. So my dear students, as I told you in my previous explanation or during the explanation of chapter number 1, that different kinds of map made by different cartographers and a number of inventions and number of writings and information written and recorded by different scholars and historians around the world. In that time, different type of new inventions and technologies which were also invented by different people around the world, that method were recorded and written by number of scholars. And after that, whatever information got by the scholars and historians that were written and recorded in Old Testament and books. So students, as I had discussed with you in previous chapter, that a number of new dynasties and number of new power started to develop during the starting of human history, like tribals and some warriors had increased their power and started to rule over the region or big territory. So chapter number 2, New Kings and Kingdoms, also about the emergence of new dynasty and new kings. So students, first of all, here I want to clear one thing. The meaning of dynasties means rule by the one powerful family and its member. That's why it is called or known as dynasties. So around the 7th century, a number of new dynasties and number of big families emerged or started to rule over the continent. So students, for clear understanding, you can understand on the basis of map of India, which is given in page number 16. Okay? So, in topic number 2, the emergence of new dynasty, in which we will understand that how earlier people, chief and samantas and tribals had gained power and established his own territory around the country. Okay? So by the 7th century, there were big landlords, warrior chief were ruled over the region, but king was superpower that time also. Okay? And warriors and landlords, they were counted lower than the power of king, or they were counted as subordinates, and they were called and known as samantas around the 7th century. Clear? It means that time number of landlords and great warriors and chief were, but king was superpower, and those like chief, warriors and landlords all of have a great power, but they are counted lower than the power of king, and always they were busy to please his king. That's why many times and always they had given a number of gifts to the kings to please them, in which samantas gained support and power from the king also. That time Samantha or great landlord or chief or warrior also had a lot of power and money, and they were also arranged a number of people which were trained in the fighting skills were provided by these landlords and warriors and samantas to the kings. Alright, so among the all samantas, if they were gained a lot of power in the compare of others, then they had declared themselves to be Maha Samanta and Maha Mandaleshwar. It means the great powerful person or lord of a region or area where he was lived. And slowly he gained much power and changed themselves into a big king or powerful person of a region. Alright, simply here I want to clear that among all the samantas, any one samanta if can earn a lot of power, money, wealth and military power, then he can themselves declared a great Samanta, Mahasamanta or Mahamandaleshwar, or a great lord of a region or circle. So, in this way, a number of dynasties in which Rajputas who were ruled over the Deccan started to rule over the region, but the families of Rashtrakuta was lower than the power of Chalukya who were ruled over the Karnataka. But during the mid-8th century, Dantidurga, who was a Rashtrakuta chief, had able to decline the power of Chalukya, and finally he overthrew Chalukya lord and performed a religious ceremony which was called or known as Hiranyagarbha. It means he again born from the golden womb, and after the performing of that ritual with the help of Brahmans, he was thought to lead to the rebirth of the sacrificer as Kshatriya. It means when Rashtrakuta overthrew the rule of Chalukya dynasty, he had performed a religious rituals or religious puja with the help of Brahmans, and that religious ritual was known as Hiranyagarbha. It means this religious ceremony was related to those person if he had performed this Hiranyagarbha ritual, then it means he had rebirth again, and now he had born as a Kshatriya. Alright. So, if we will see in other cases of the new dynasties, a number of big families who were busy in producing a number of goods and services, they also had used military skill to take care of their industry or company or enterprising, in which also they had increased their power and started to rule over the region earlier where they were busy in trade and business and producing something. In this way, a number of people like Kadamba Mayur Sharman and the Gurjar Patyara Harishchandra were Brahmins who were busy, who were involved in different kind of activities, but finally they had increased their power and left their traditional business and hold the arms and successfully established their own kingdoms and territory in the regions of Karnataka and Rajasthan. Alright students, so for today's that's all. In my next explanation, I will discuss with you administration in the kingdoms. Alright, thank you and have a nice day.